Hi guys! Guys, I read 31 books this January, which was crazy. And I have all of them here on Goodreads. So if you guys want to follow me on Goodreads, I will show my page right there. And I would love interacting with you guys more. So, alright, let's start. The first book I finished this year was Dark Rise. Dark Rise is such a good book. I'm reading it. I read this with my roommate and it was amazing. I gave this 4 stars. 4 stars, not because there was anything wrong with it, but because the first book still has a lot of world building. I'm not a world building kind of girl, so 4 stars. The next book was The Perfect Crimes of Marian Hayes, which is from Cat Sebastian. I rated this 3 stars. This was a cute, fun read actually. I liked the romance between her and her counterpart, and it was entertaining is actually the right word. It was entertaining and fun, but it's not like a masterpiece. But if you are looking for something fluffy, that's it. Oh my god, then we have Alcatraz and the Evil Librarian, which I already actually have there. That book it's a children's book, but I listened to it while like falling asleep and I was hooked. I was so hooked. I loved the writing style. It was well done. I'm not a Brandon Sanderson kind of girl. Then we have A Winter's Promise by Christelle Dabos, and I'm so sorry, but that's a 2-star read for me, which means it's bad. And oh my god, why is this book so long? That was it was like a 17-hour audiobook, and I even had it sped up, and it was a 17-hour audiobook and nothing happened. I'm like, how is that even possible? How much can you write without anything happening? It's crazy. That's actually a gift. And then she recapped the book in her next book, and it was 1.5 iPhone pages for a 17-hour audiobook. How? I'm just happy that I listened to the audiobook over a subscription and I did not actually purchase this. That was the only silver lining there. But then at the end of those 17 hours, at the end, the last 1.5, the plot actually started to come. And I was like, oh my god, we are actually getting plot now. So I actually read the second book because it actually got the plot there, but it was still slow paced. The next book is The Missing of Claire de Lune, which is a 3-star read. Guys, I don't get it. That has 4.46 average on Goodreads. Like, how? How do you guys love that book so much? I don't get it. Like, I get it. It's a French author, but her being a French author does not make the book better. I'm not trying to bash her, but like I don't understand the love for the book. Like, just her being French does not make the story great. A lot of people were like writing in the comment section being like, oh my god, I love French authors, where I'm like, but the book is not better because she's French. Doesn't, yeah, fine. Missing of Claire de Lune was actually better than the first book, so it's a 3-star book there. Still bad. Dark Air. I finished Dark Air with my roommate on the 31st of January because we wanted to finish this in January. So we were like, we gotta finish this now. And we read this from the 2nd of January to the 31st because we just kept being busy. And I'm a little upset with this because I read a book. I started a book and then I finished a book. And I usually do this within 24 hours. So reading this book over the whole month was challenging because I kept forgetting a lot of stuff that happened because I just kept reading other books. So when the next book comes out, because it's a trilogy, and I'm so here for it because this book ended on a cliffhanger, and guys, I'm unwell. That book ended so badly, and oh my god, I'm still unwell. That was horrible. That was really horrible. I love this. I gave it 5 stars. Oh my god, can we talk about, I'm sorry, for just a second. Can we talk about the amazing characters Paquette has in this book? This book has Visander, which I hated Catherine in the first book. Not only because she kissed Will, which now that we know stuff is on a lot of levels wrong. But because I was like not here for that romance. I was not here for the Will and Catherine romance, because obviously Will is not supposed to be with her. He's supposed to be with James. I mean, come on. And then we get Visander, and Visander is so fun. I love that guy. And then we have Philip, who's his husband. What's so funny? Then we have, oh my god, I still don't know how to pronounce his name. Devon or Devon? We're not sure. My roommate and I, we kept reading the books out loud to each other, and we're like, Devon. How do we say that? And we had that with a couple of names. But it doesn't matter, it's a fantasy book, so who cares? I love the characters. I love them so much. They are amazing. And I can't wait for the next book. That is really my most anticipated book right now. Like, I'm anticipating for 2024 a lot of books, like the Ali Hazelwood books. I think 2 of them are coming out this year. I actually pre-ordered both of them. There are a couple of books I'm excited about, but this book, I need this book, because that ending was not fair. I wanted romance to happen so badly, and the way this happened there, I'm unwell. I think I can move on now. Alright, we have Ruthless Vows, which, right, I started this channel with Divine Rivals from Rebecca Ross, and I loved the book. I really did. It's a good, solid read. Ruthless Vows now is also a good read, but I had to deduct a point because it made no sense how we got from the end of book 1 to the beginning to book 2. There was a very, very, very big flaw right there, which bugged me. And I usually don't question things. I usually just go with the flow, and if it's like a minor thing, I wouldn't have even noticed. But this was a big thing, and this made no sense, and I was not here for that. I still gave the book 4 stars because I enjoyed this, and I will have the Divine Rival and Ruthless Vows books close to my heart because that's how I started this channel. Like, this book series will be special to me simply because for that. But like, I was really excited for that book, and then less so. But yeah, it's fine. It was not a bad read. A Court This Cruel and Lovely by Stasia Stark, which was a 4-star read for me, and A Kingdom This Cursed and Empty, which is the second part, also 4 stars. But that's because I love the audiobook. I love the guy who narrates this. I'm so here for it. And the third book, I started reading it on my Kindle, but it's that the audiobook is not out for it yet. So I only read like 20% of it. And yeah, that's like, I will finish it with the audiobook because he's doing such a good job. And I'm like reading it thinking like, how would he read that right now? He would totally say it differently. And then I was just like craving the audiobook, so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna wait till the audiobook is out and then I can listen to it. So yeah. Then we have The Quiche of Death by Agatha Raisin, which I rated 3 stars. This was a really fun read. Agatha Raisin is such a flawed character, and I'm here for it. I'm so here for it. This is like a detective story, and we get to follow around this girl like this woman. She's actually an elderly woman who moves from London to town because she wants to be like a town queen, and she wants to dazzle everyone with how much she's seen in the world, and she just wants to be part of all of that. But she's not. Like, she can't get the connection to the other people, and she's just so selfish, and I thought it was fun. There's this quiche competition, and she wants to win so that everyone would admire her and talk to her. So instead of like just starting nice conversations, she just wants to be like loved and adored in that admiring kind of way. And she did not win, even though she didn't even bake the quiche herself. She drove to London to buy it from a really expensive quiche place, and she still lost, and she was outraged. She was like, oh my god, that competition is so rigged. Like, excuse me, my quiche was obviously better. because it was like an award-winning quiche from London. And it turns out that the girlfriend of the judge won, even though he was married. So she got like a little glimpse into that country town dynamic where she's like, scandalous. But it turns out that she was so upset that she did not take the quiche with her, and she was like, just keep the quiche, and went away. And the judge took the quiche with him and his wife, and on the next day he was dead. She was obviously she was a suspect, and after it turns out that she did in fact not bake the cake, but the quiche, but only bought it. She was not held, like, she was not a suspect anymore. And then she starts asking questions, and she wants to solve the murder. She does that because she wants to get the glory for solving the murder, which was, it's so fun to be in her mind and to see the things she thinks, and I'm like, what is wrong with you? But it's so fun. Then we have Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter, which was a 4-star read. I loved the book. It was a teenager book, a very teenager book, but I loved the book. I made a whole video about all 3.5 Lynn Painter books that I read, and she's a good author for YA books. I don't like her other book. Anyway, then we have The Vicious Vet, which was also an Agatha Raisin story. Also 3 stars, same. She didn't change, like, she does not get any character development. She's still herself, but it's still entertaining. The Do-Over by Lynn Painter. I love this, especially the end, which was amazingly handled. I'm not a big fan of like time travel. The only time loop kind of story that I liked was this one fan fiction, Storm in a Cup of Tea, something like that. Oh my god, that was such a good time loop. That was the best time loop I've ever read. Like, this fan fiction was so good. Anyway, this book was fine too. It was a 4-star read. I loved the book. It was really, really, really nice. Betting on You, also 4 stars, which was, out of all those 4 stars books from her, I loved this the most. This was, for me, the best one because it was a little bit more romancy. We had a little bit more, it felt less like a teenager book, but more a young adult book, which I was here for. So, yes. Oh my god, and then we have The Wrong Number by Lynn Painter, and I DNF'd the book. That is the first DNF book I have in this year, and I'm not sorry. Guys, this book is horrible. Horrible and stupid, and that is the most stupid character I've read so far. She just burned down her apartment and then she leaves a pot simmering while going out for shopping. Like, how, who would do that? Who would leave a pot on a turned on stove and leave right after burning down her house? It's not even her apartment. It's her brother's best friend's apartment. She leaves a huge mess in the kitchen, and then she comes home and her brother's like, what the fuck are you doing? And she's like, what do you mean? Everything is fine. Like, that's literally what she said. And he's like, look around you. Like, girl. And she's like, oh my god, this is also your apartment. And he's like, no, I only live here for like not much rent. It's his apartment. And she's like, well, I didn't know that. Yeah, but you were also not apologizing. She's never apologizing. So she makes a huge mess. Her brother's best friend has to clean it all up. And then she's like making jokes after the dinner that her brother's best friend should like do the cleaning now because she cooked, where I'm like, what? Excuse me? Like, this, in general, I'm not saying that she should do the dishes because she's a girl. It's really that situation. Like, if you read the book, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This girl was just outrageous and I was not here for it at all. So I DNF'd this, and that was the best decision I could have ever made because I still get high blood pressure just thinking about her. So yes, good job. Oh my god, and then we have The House in the Cerulean Sea, which is amazing. The House in the Cerulean Sea is a 5-star read, and I love the book. And the next book I read was also a TJ Klune book, which is In the Lives of Puppets, which is also a 5-star read for me, but it took longer to settle. It's like this book, I'm still thinking about this book. And then we have Crave. Oh my god, I actually have a reading vlog prepared for it. I just don't have the end yet because I came home from work and I didn't film the end yet. You can watch me suffer there. That is a 1-star. A 1-star book, which is like, that girl is so dumb. It feels a little bit like Romeo and Juliet, which I mind with Romeo and Juliet the whole romantic aspect. Like, they've known each other for what, a week? And the amount of love they have for each other is like, no. That's not love, that's lust. And while there's no shame in being in lust, I minded having it romanticized like that. So that's exactly what we have right there. Crave is them being in lust and crazy. It's just crazy what's happening in this 1 week. They've known each other. The ending was crazy too. It's just a 1-star read. That's all I need to say. And then I read a fanfiction, and I was not aware that you can log fanfictions in Goodreads, but I'm so here for it. And I read Another Mask Behind You, which is one of my go-to, by Lettered, which is one of my go-to fanfictions when I want something unhinged and all those dark fantasy romances are not really getting what I want. Another Mask Behind You is actually getting what I want. That book, like that fanfiction, is so good. It's so good. I love this. But it's crazy. So if you want something really unhinged and crazy, but good, that's your story. Then we have Atlas 6, which, like, everything from that point on was difficult because we have now, like, from the TJ Klune books, which were both 5-star reads for me, I read Crave, which was a 1-star read. And then I needed a good book again, or like a good story. That's why I read Another Mask Behind You. And I was like, okay, now I can like keep reading books again. And then I read The Atlas 6, because it's like really popular actually. But I don't know why. I hated the writing style. It's very jumpy. Like, you know, Six of Crows, where you have also like 6 point of views, and it's amazingly done. But this one it just jumps between the characters are confusing. It's not in a clear timeline. Like, you have person A saying he's curious what person B can do. And in the next chapter, you have person C saying how crazy it was that person B could do it, while never seeing what person B has done. So you will get cut out of events where I'm like, why would you do that? So I was not a big fan of this. And then we have The Daughter of No Worlds by Broadbent Carissa, and I was not here for that book. I don't get why she had to be a foreigner. Guys, I'm not trying to hate on foreigners. I just don't get why it needed to be there. Like, I can see how being a foreigner sometimes serves a purpose in books, or it's like part of the story. But here, she was already in a teacher-student kind of setting, so her being a foreigner was just like where she would struggle saying things where I'm like, why do we need that right now? He would explain to you the world anyway. Like, to me, that just felt like not necessary. And that's why I hated it. And I actually DNF'd the book. Yes, I DNF'd it at like 50%. Where I was like, okay, no. But like, I was not in the story at all. I did not enjoy this. And this was just like, why is this there? So, yeah. Oh my god, then I read Der Schlafende Prinz, which is Ever and After from Stella Tuck, which is a German book. And again, this story was a me problem because I thought it would be like a dark romance book, but it's actually a fairy tale book with romance. So my mindset into this book was completely wrong, which is why I did not enjoy it. That's a me problem. And then we have A Deal with the Elf King by Elise Kovar. And considering how much I love Elise Kovar books, this one felt really flat to me. I gave it 3 stars, so it was a very mediocre story. Then I read it's the Maxton Hall trilogy. I read all 3 books. And the Save Me, like the first one, is 4 stars. Then we have Save You, which is 4 stars. And then we have Save Us, which is 3 stars. But that was actually like, I wanted a story like this. And I really, really appreciated that all 3 books was about the same couple. So I was really, really here for that. She's like a baby. Yes, who's a cute kitty. Such a good baby. Bubble, bubble. I was really here for that. I was here for that we have 3 books of the same couple, which so many book series, especially in romance, don't have that anymore. So I actually love that. Then we have The Bride Test by Helen Huang. Guys, that book just sucked. That's a 2-star read, and I hated that story. I think I will even make a video about this. I think I will make a round review about this book because it was just horrible. But then I read The Graham Effect, which is amazing because I made a Tinder guy choose the book that I read. So I think I will make a series of this where I would give Tinder guys options of the books that I should read. And he said I gave like 4 options, and among them was The Graham Effect. And he actually picked the smuttiest book of all the 4 books that I gave as an option. But yeah, like I'm already an Elle Kennedy fan, and I actually was not aware. Like I knew Graham was Garrett Graham. So I actually thought it was his parents and not his daughter, which I liked it more that it was about his daughter actually. I loved the book. The only reason why it has 4 stars and not 5 is because the book did not it did not acknowledge the time past at all. Like this book is written like it's written in 2023 with technology and stuff like that. And that's something that I mind. Like, because I'm 28 now, alright? 20 years ago, the whole world was different. I had different phones, different TV sets, like all of it was different movies, like everything was different. And I minded that like this actually it prevented me from getting into the story, is that we get Graham, like Garrett and what was her name again? And his girlfriend, his wife, actually to be like adults and have a 21-year-old daughter, but the time itself did not change, and that took me out of the story. But other than that, I love the story. Then we have I read The Graham Effect, and then I needed an Elle Kennedy book to soothe me after this In Fairness book. And so I reread The Score, and I don't even know why I love The Score that much. The Score is my favorite Elle Kennedy book so far. This book is just, I think it's also because the main girl is called Ellie, and I'm also like the girlfriend kind of person. So I kind of can identify with her in some ways, and I think that's why I like it so much. And because it's written really well. You can see him falling in love with her, and that's what I love about this. Yeah, then, yes, that's still January. Then we have God of Malice, which is a Legendary of the Gods, book 1 from Rena Kent. It's a 2-star book. Guys, come on. That book is not good. I like dark romance as much as the next girl, but guys, that's not a good book. Especially because he changes 30% into the story, and he's like, he chills out a bit. Like, from being this, oh, I'm gonna push you off the cliff to take a picture of you, to, oh, I'm really possessive now because you're gonna be my girlfriend. And when that switch happened, like, I started to like him too, But I was still aware, like, what happened in the beginning, where I'm like, he's still problematic. And don't get me wrong, I know dark romance books have problematic characters, and that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that he's actually unlikable, and we don't see him fall in love. He's just like in lust with her, and we don't get why he loves her. He just chooses to. Can you stop? Yes. Well. Alright, and then we have Filthy Rich Vampire by Jennifer Lee, which, why did I start this? Because I remember reading a Jennifer Lee book when I was younger and liking it, but I don't remember what it was called. I think it was something with royal. And I remembered liking it. So, yeah. So I was like, okay, let's give it a try. And I actually read this book. I actually finished this, but it was bad. It was actually a bad book. Cute, my cute baby, what's wrong? So, yeah, that's all of the 31 books that I read this January. I already finished Good Girl Complex from Elle Kennedy, but I finished it from February 1st to 2nd. So I finished it this morning. But yeah, all my January reads are done. Thank you for listening, guys. I'm so happy to share videos like that with you. And yeah, what guys did you read in January? Bye.